you can see from the leaves, it's a beautiful fall day. You know what? It's the first nice fall day that we've had up here that it hasn't been raining in several days. There's been a bit of a storm coming through, and filming weather hasn't really been great. So there was a little tiny window where I was able to capture like just the very tip of fall. I got a little bit of a drone shot from a property nearby, and a really interesting, just like Bob Ross used to say, a little red dazzler here and there. It's just it's really sweet. I make a big deal about seeing color in the wild, but it's just me. So we're, as you can see, kind of like there's like a cliff down there. I'm actually not familiar with this area. I know I'm south of Shoe Lake and I'm heading toward Black Lake right now. I should be, but there was a Y in the trail and I kind of veered off another direction, and I noticed there's another Y in the trail that's down there. So there's another place to explore soon, but the reason why I have you here is because I can hear water over there. Before we go, let's take a compass bearing. All right, so north is that way. We're basically heading west, off trail. Spooky stuff. So let's see if we can find the water. Looks like it's this way. There's a chance that the perceived water was in fact just leaves whistling in the trees. Maybe not. It does sound like water. You know what? We're going to call this one a losing battle. I don't think there's any water. Remember, why do we take a compass bearing? Because now we're just going to head east, the opposite direction of where we headed. We headed west off trail. Then we're going to head back east this way. Follow Trusty Russ's strategy to hopefully safely navigating off trail. Went out in the bush. Let's see if it worked. Oh, what's this right here? Damn. That's why I have two compasses. And I actually even have a third. I like compasses. Anyway, I'm going to just continue along this trail, see if I find anything cool. And check back here with you soon if I do. But you know what? Just call it. Forget about that perceived water. The leaves are very... what's the word I'm looking for? They're kind of more like, they're less like soft and more paper-like. So I think it's making a bit of a water sound. Neat how nature makes white noise in a lot of different ways. So anyway, let's just keep going. All right, guys. Looks like up ahead, we're coming to water. sound like right behind me of a boulder that I'd kicked just moved. Made all the hairs on my back stand up. This is kind of spooky. I have had a friend tell me he had a pretty serious paranormal experience out here. So, yes, I am on guard. I really hope this is Black Lake. It should be Black Lake. Maybe just another point on Black Lake. Geez, are we at the far? I hope there's a trail across. Ooh, it's a lot of birch bark. Oh yeah, it looks like a good trail here. I see a house over there. We're not going to go over there. We're going to go this way. This looks like Black Lake, you guys. So now this is definitely Black Lake. Black Lake in the fall. So I am really excited to check out the water system where these rivers flow, where they flow into, where this lake empties into. It's a neat pattern. It reminds me of one of Tesla's inventions. This Black Lake. Whoops! Wow! Look at this toad. Look at this guy. He was huge. Oh, he is over there. That's hilarious. We'll let him go. He got away. That guy is huge. Let's just walk out and see what we can see. Oh yeah, this is Black Lake, all right. For sure. Yeah, there's the island. It's been a hunting camp. That's right. We're going over there. Let's do it. Yeah, you ready? All right. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, Bob Ross is in the leaves today. Rest in peace, Bob Ross. You know, I don't walk through the forest with the same, sorry, I got a smudge on it. I don't walk through the forest with the same sense of carefree ease that I did 5 or 10 years ago. Now it's much more heightened awareness and purpose and being careful and respectful. I feel those are important things to bear in mind when you trek through here. Every step, just got to be careful. Oh my gosh, look at this crystal. This might be one of the biggest ones, bud. Holy crumb. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Oh my gosh, this crystal is huge. You're silly. All right, this guy's a keeper. We're bringing him home. So I'm carrying it. I kind of had a feeling I'd find like a huge chunk of something. So this is gonna make my walk home redonkulous. Alright guys, we have ventured off trail, and I think if I ain't mistaken, that's probably moose. So let's get a good sense of our bearings. I should be able to head straight south. I should be able to hit the Black River. So that's what we're gonna do. Totally off trail. Dang, this is thick. It's a bit too thick for me. We're gonna go more this way. All right. So, we finally found the Black River, looks like. We're gonna fly a drone, see what we can find. Hey guys, so that just about wraps it up here with my filming at the Black Lake River system. Whew. Almost sprained my ankle there. And somewhere in this direction over here, I think I heard a moose snort. I could make up my I think it might have been a female snort, if I'm much of a snortist. Sounded like it was just letting me know that it was there, which I do appreciate. I'm not here to cause any trouble, I just want to observe. So we're gonna boogie out of here. The trick basically is to essentially head northeast. So that'll eventually bring us back to a trail. So that's all we're gonna do. We're gonna get our compass fresh in our mind. Just give him a little jiggle. All right, we pretty much want to head that way. Let's go. I must have trekked for about 3/4 of a kilometer. Maybe a kilometer? I'm not sure. Through the bush to get to this spot. As you saw, there was some fresco moose droppings. But you know, this is a nice place for them. I'm really thankful to the moose spirit for having me over. I'm not here to cause any trouble, you guys. Don't got a bad bone in my body for the moose clan. If anything, I'm increasing your social media presence. Moose are dangerous. Don't trust them. Alright, I gotta stop joking around and continually check my bearings. Yeah, so you know what, that's pretty much it. That's how you go filming for really cool nature stuff. You know, that might have been the best footage. Every time I go filming, I feel like, oh yeah, it's like the best footage I've ever got. That was some seriously good footage. Just the time of year, the time of day. The truth is, I had a little bit left on my battery, my final battery, but there's a reason why I left that. It's the same principle as the reason why divers leave a third tank to find their way out. Just in case I get lost, you can fly a drone and you'll be able to see from above where you are. Hopefully you'll recognize a water body or something, but the truth is if I just head north, generally I'm going to hit something. Just straight north, but we're going to head northeast. Because northeast will bring us to a trail. So, pray to the forest gods. Thank you for granting us safe passage. Oops. Haven't had a soaker yet. 0 soakers. Came pretty darn close though. And that, my friends, is the benefit of Gore-Tex shoes. I had no idea until I got a pair how awesome they are. But if you tread lightly, you might not get a soaker. This is a nice habitat for moose. Really, really nice place. Yeah, like it's just so beautiful, you guys. The sound of running water. All right. Bearings check. Check at the wrist. Northeast. I tend to have a decent sense for when to head home. Well, obviously, expanding all my batteries, you know, sure. That's a good way to definitely a good way to head home. And of course, if I follow this river, I'm gonna hit black. Oh, the simplest branch, honestly, that could have been really bad. I felt literally like that hurt the top muscle of my left foot. Potential sprain. Just gonna kind of slow down. When walking on such uneven terrain, it's like, just relax, bud. Every step, test your balance. It's good, move on. But all this random debris, you're bound to step on something that eventually is going to twist you up. Or worse, cause you to trip, and then like you just fall in some weird way and you can't remedy it and you're stuck. But would we be in tough shape? Look at this. Pretty basic town. That's interesting. This is about the first sign of an old just go. Fall into water there, bud, now. Wow. Oh, that's really nice. This is escape from the forest. Got the footage. I gotta get home quick. Go, go. Basically you versus Gaia. The only challenge is that give it enough time, Gaia always wins. Just gotta respect Gaia. Alright. Uncharted territory, friends. God, I got you with me. It's interesting, like it almost looks like a shelter, but it isn't. That's weird. Beer bottle. Now, if an emergency situation, that could be really useful. Holy crumb! Now you can store a little bit of extra water. Of course, there's basically water everywhere. You know, you're probably not going to die of... Oh, and look at this, friends. A modest clearing. Huh. Look at this. Oh yeah. Whew. Oh, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. That's great. All right, so this is basically the launch spot. Now we know. Let's now see what's up here. Now, if my calculations are correct, this should take us to that little fork in the road clearing. And I must have mistaken the path heading west for a potential path south, obviously because I just went directly through the bush to get to that spot. And the reason I know that I could get there by going directly through the bush at a certain heading is because I studied the map before I came out, and I have a copy of the map with me, I believe. It's in my pocket. So, I have a reference, always have a reference, but I also have a reference that weighs nothing, which is in my head, just to help keep me aware of my surroundings, just give me that much extra boost, +1 HP, horsepower, or health points, whatever. I'd rather take the health points out here, actually. Yeah, so you know what? Looks like we're almost back to the trail. You know, everything went fairly smooth, but gotta stay on guard. That moose could be hunting us down. Moose are relentless hunters. Yeah, okay, I see where we are. This turnoff right here actually goes right to the river. Oh, wouldn't that be fun to take a boat down? Oh my gosh. Alright, so here's where we are. This is the way we came from. Could probably show you on a map, superimpose on top of this, the approximate location of this clearing. And oops, you got some. Did I scratch the lens, or I don't know. It is what it is. So I'm gonna start heading back. I have to check on my audio recorder, and I have to pick up a giant crystal. So in between now and then, I'm going to replace the battery on this guy, and we'll continue the adventure. All right. Da da ba dum ba da bum bum ba dum ba dum ba dum bum bum. Bum bum dum dum bum 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 ba dum ba dum ba dum bum bum. Hope I can get through here. Okay, it's so good. Ba-dum, ba-bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. See if I can make that into a riff. But it'll be... Anyway, continuing along. Just hanging there by. This is a very messy part of the trail. It's just I was going to say fiasco, but I've used that one cleverly once or twice too many, perhaps. It is a bit of a fiasco. It's just like, yeah, no, you just like don't really know which way to take. Maybe this could be like a really fun spot for some peeps who like to ride ATVs. If you think so, yo, it's right next to the Black River, so it's full of life. Just a good vibe. Watch out your ankles, though. And that's what I have to say about that. Now, is our purpose today to spend the night and camp out and do more filming? Well, no, that wasn't the purpose that we set out. I got stuff to do. I want to actually take out this footage and start editing it. I actually will maybe be able to do that today. see what I can whip up. I don't know, you know, it's good footage, so I think it should be fairly easy. Speaking of the drone anyway. Whoops. Oh my goodness. Those little red dazzlers that poke right through. Just so beautifully red. I love seeing these trees, all the colors. You know, it's only here for a short time. I wanted to make the most of it, share it with you guys, see if there's anything you know, anything that jumps out to you, any observations about the river, the Black River. You know, for the time of day, it actually did look quite dark, you know, but that's just from the shadows. Anyway, it really lends to the idea of Black River. Black River is kind of a spooky name. You know, these woods here, they are a little, just a titch spooky. Not spooky enough to warrant me. You know, of course we got into some moose over there, and that's actually really positive. A sign of happy life. I'm not going to tell those moose, I'm not going to tell any hunters where those moose were. You know, not this season anyway, so I'm not gonna bait you out, Moose Clan. You know, +1 for Russ's honor points with the Moose Clan. I'm just here to observe and share observations. And I want to talk about water and energy and interesting things. You know, what sort of ideas come to mind? Because, you know, it is simply a river, but there's also electrical elements to it. Water generates static electricity when it's in motion. And that's just really interesting, you know? And that's just a very important part of water. Something just like liquid crystal. Just beginning to scratch the surface on the implications of water. But obviously if we had no water, we'd have no life. But there's one thing we can definitely agree on. There's almost nothing better when you're thirsty than a glass of water. I just had some back there throughout this trek. And you know, I'm equipped with a water filter, all right? I could stop here, you know, I could literally filter this mucky water. I wouldn't want to because there's probably ATV gunk and stuff in there. I want to filter the water. Where would I want to pick it? Honestly, I'd take it out of that river, but I'd take it after it's had a whole bunch of bends, after it's flipped, just as an experiment. But the truth is, water can contain gases, all right? It can contain unusual gases suddenly, you know, randomly from some gas leak underground or something. You know, I just learned about this type of gas called carbonic acid gas or something. And if you drink it, apparently it kills you. And it can be in water and you won't know it. It's inside caves sometimes too. So, yeah, you know, you could just suddenly drink water and, you know, this maybe, in some sense, this is just my opinion, this phenomena could account for a small percentage of those who become lost in the woods, irrecoverable. You know, potentially drinking water that has essentially gas inside it that is not the right type of gas that you want. It's not hydrogen, it's, you know, carbonic acid. But if you leave water and it'll return to a neutral pH, it should, unless it has all kinds of stuff in it that's making the water very acidic. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have this feeling that if you just leave water, you know, open in a pot in your fridge, or, you know, under your, you know, in your fridge, preferably leave it at 4 degrees Celsius. Seems to be an important point. Everything tastes good there. 4 degrees Celsius is the anomaly point of water where it begins to function in all these other ways. That's a whole other story, and I need to actually read that chapter again. an important piece of information on water. You need to understand that. But also, I was going to say, you can't trust all the information you hear. That's true. But I think it was coming from a good source. Victor Schauberger, he was a smart guy. So, yada yada yada. I'm just kind of taking you with me on this journey. So now here's something odd. It's like very quiet. Very quiet. I saw that on the trail in a different spot a while back. These are just cool, eh? Yeah, so this is a really nice hour for filming. I wonder if I should bust my drone out and squeeze out the last bit of juice. Seriously? Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Guys and gals. Guys and gals and pals. Okay. Let's go. This was a fun day. But you know what? You have to stay on guard. You never know what's around the corner. Like, how often do you check yourself, like your reaction time to your I was going to say Clobbermeister from, it's just a silly reference. Oh, look at this, look at this. Well, it's time to head back to the trail and let's see if we can find that thing we stashed, and let's do it. Check this out. Nice. That's a really good one. That's it. Keep an eye out for more crystals. But we already got the mother lode, so who cares? So we gotta watch out for any kind of suspicious movements, whether it be animals or otherwise. Keep a watch. Did you hear that sound? That low frequency vibration. Let's see if we can hear it again. I've heard that a few times. It sounds like a lawnmower trying to start up, or some sort of farm equipment trying to start up. The problem is, this is all crown land, so I don't much think that there's anyone really out here. Well, I'm out here. I could be trying to start up an ATV, yeah. You know, I just hear that same sort of pulse, accelerating pulse. So let's see if hopefully that came through in the audio. Maybe we'll hear it again. Did you hear that? That was my tum-tum. Alright, well, for the most part, we're just kind of hauling out a big heavy crystal. Starting to feel the wear and tear on my lower back, but whatever. It's huge. So, I think I'm just going to kind of pause here and get this crystal home safely in one piece, not chunked in two. And I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for tuning in. It's been fun. What beautiful footage we found today. Just by getting out early and chomping on the bit. That's such a terrible cliche. Oh yeah, we really chomped on a bit on that one, eh? No, we decided to go out and gather footage when the opportunity presented itself, and that's what we get. You know, it got, you know, a little few things here and there might have to be taken out, but I'm excited. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye. I just heard an owl. An owl. Owl. Let's see if he goes again. That always creeped me out. Sometimes they follow me just in the bush. Which makes me wonder if it really is an owl. But I think like the likelihood is high. I guess I'm a little jumpy. So close with this big crystal. Can't afford any setbacks. You hear that? Sounded like it came from over there that time. It feels like it's coming, it changes its location. That's what's weird. I thought it was coming, you know, I mean, I could just be mistaken. Somebody's literally mowing or bushwhacking out here. They just can't start their machine. But it's kind of an unusual sound. There's a certain roundness to it. I'm just not used to. So anyway, these are just my continued trail thoughts. What goes on in this kind of wildernessy guy's head as he's going through the bush. Yeah, definitely thinking about all the little small things that there could be in the forest that could get me. But alas, I have bear spray. I probably will give them indigestion. So, and I got a knife. I don't have my tactical shovel. One of my favorite tools. Don't have that with me today. Didn't really need it. These crystals were just popping out of the ground. So, the murky depths over here. I've literally avoided getting a soaker all day. That's like a first. Had some pretty close calls into some muddy patches. However, thank you, Gore-Tex shoes. I really like these Gore-Tex shoes. Should have done this years ago. Yeah, so as you can clearly see, we're losing light. So it'll be a bit dreary in the footage department for you viewers right now. But whew, that's not that bad. We're just kind of in a dark zone. But yes, we're losing light. We made the most of it. All the batteries are dead. Even our little get home free emergency survey juice. Nah. What a fun day. Getting footage like that, it's all about timing. You know, it would still probably look amazingly cool very soon when everything is like yellow, red. Oops, sorry. When everything ceases to be green at all, you just have the evergreens. That's going to be even more rich, but of course, it doesn't last long, and then it's gone. So we're going to make the most of it, and when it's no more, it's no more. And it's on to the next season, I guess. Start to film, late fall. We're gonna keep filming. We're gonna gather as much interesting footage. That rock was a frog. I thought to myself, that's a very, very fearless frog. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm just going to sign off for you for a little. Talk to you soon.